In this skill focus activity, we're going to take a look at 4 writing features in informational writing and how they can come together to form a really impressive paragraph. Now, writing features is just a fancy way of saying the types of sentences that we want to see in different types of text. So, informational writing features are different from narrative, and narrative and informational writing features are different from argumentative. So, each domain of writing has different types of sentences, different types of writing features that students need to learn how to write so that they can be in that style. They can write a narrative that actually sounds like a story rather than a factual report. So, this activity dives into 4 of the most common writing features in informational writing and shows how you can then pull them together to create a really impressive paragraph. Now, there is a student handout here. So when you click on this link here, it's going to take you to the student handout. This is something that every student would need, this classifying design, and then this column. So there are 4 columns on this page. So this is enough for 4 students. You do not need to have a page per student. It is simply a column per student. So back to our presentation here. 4 stellar writing features, how they equal 1 impressive paragraph. Let's find out. So the first thing that we're going to talk about are these 4 columns here. What are the 4 impressive writing features that we're going to take a look at today? They are facts, which are simply statements that are true about a topic. So they are statements that or information that most people, if not everyone, agrees is true. Examples are instances of the topic. They show what the topic looks like when it occurs. Direct quotations always have to have quotation marks around them because they are sentences or phrases that are pulled directly from a source. This can be something that is actually spoken or something from another source of text. So if you read actual sentences in a text and you say, oh, I love what that sounds like. I want that in my writing. I love that phrasing. I love those sentences. You can pull that in. We just have to cite the source and we have to put quotation marks around it. And lastly, comparisons. And these are when we're looking at similarities and differences. How are things alike and different? And these 4 writing features are going to really help transform our paragraphs. So we're going to dive into a topic, something that's near and dear to all of our hearts, and that's lunch. So here's our first sentence here. We're going to sort these in this classifying design. This sentence here, lunch is served every day at school. Is that a fact, an example, a direct quotation, a comparison? If you said fact, you got it right. Lunch is served every day at school. That is just a fact. Like First Lady Obama says, school lunches should be delicious and nutritious. So we've got, in this case, not a fact. We don't have an example. What we have here is a direct quotation because we've got quotation marks around actually what was said, and we have a reference in this case to the speaker. On Monday, the lunch options were vegetable pizza or PB&J. Now we've only got 2 left. We got examples and comparisons. There are 2 topics mentioned here, right? There's vegetable pizza or PB&J, but they're not being compared, right? They're just listed in this sentence. So this is going to make this sentence an example. And lastly, one lunch favorite, pizza, is always served warm, while PB&Js, another kid favorite, are cold. That's going to be our comparison sentence. So we've sorted these 4, which is great. So this first part of this activity is just to get students comfortable with knowing what's the difference between these 4 writing features. What do they mean and how, and what does it look like when it's actually in a sentence? So there's these 4 great examples now about lunch. There is a second round here about volcanoes. So we'll read these, we'll sort these as well. When a volcano is described as active, it means it is erupting hot magma, ash, and gas. On the other hand, a dormant volcano has erupted recently, but is currently quiet. What do we have in this one? A fact? Well, yeah, there are facts here, but can it be filed any further down into any of the others? Is it examples? Is it a direct quotation or comparison? In this case, we've got a really good clue with the phrase on the other hand. That is a great indication that it is a comparison. Volcanoes can be active, dormant, or extinct. That would be our fact. For example, the Etna volcano in Italy has been active for thousands of years. Well, that one's got a clear indicator as well with the transition of, for example, That's going to be our example. And lastly, for our direct quotation, volcanologist. What a cool word. That's a scientist who studies volcanoes. Volcanologist Lily Isaac stated, the largest volcano we know of is actually on Mars. That's so neat. And it is dormant. So neat. All right. So there are the 4 sorted about volcanoes. What is next in this activity is for you to pair off or for students to pair off and to think about a writing feature for the topic of shoes. So we have facts, examples, direct quotations, and comparison, and we will do that on shoes. You'll write down each of those brilliant ideas on your sheet, and you don't want anyone to hear them. So this can be done in families by breaking into partners with different family members together, in classrooms with different groups of students together. And we like to do it in partners. If it needs to be in small groups, that's great as well. But once all of the samples are written, then we want 2 groups to get together, and they're going to share their examples, but they're not going to say, okay, here's my fact about shoes. Okay, here's my comparison about shoes. You just want to read what you wrote and see if the other team can guess and identify what writing feature it is that you wrote. So we don't have any examples of this because this is something for you to write and to try out. If you get stuck on this, you're always welcome to message us and we'll help you with this part of the activity. But the goal here is that you write on a topic. In this case, we chose shoes. You could change this out to anything that your children are studying at school, what you're having your students do in the classroom, and very much make them write the 4 different types of sentences, the 4 writing features on that topic on a sheet of paper and do the same activity. So shoes is very random. It's a great one, but you could also tie this into content. Now, here's the big question. Is there a paragraph hidden within the writing features? Let's find out. Right? Because right now we just have these 4 sentences, but what you're seeing pop up here are numbers. We're going to go with the orange ones first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in orange, and I'll go ahead and put the purple ones up as well. So they're all up there as well. What this is indicating is that there are 2 ways that we could put these sentences together, and there are actually a lot more. But in this case, we wanted to try out 2 different ways. So this is the order in which we will read these sentences and see what flows. So let's listen to the orange version first. On Monday, the lunch options were vegetable pizza or PB&J. One lunch favorite, pizza, is always served warm, while PB&Js, another kid favorite, are cold. Lunch is served every day at school. Like First Lady Obama says, school lunches should be delicious and nutritious. It's okay. Doesn't exactly flow great. Now, we can always add in transitional words and phrases, and that is another video that you are welcome to watch and see all of the resources we have on transitional words and phrases that students can pull in, because that really is like the thread that weaves together all of the sentences of a paragraph. So there are ways with transitional words to make just about any order of paragraphs make sense, or excuse me, any order of sentences make sense in a paragraph. But sometimes there really is a clearer order of these writing features that really makes for a great paragraph. So let's try the purple one. And in this case, it's not a blooper that there are 2 with the 1 in it, right? The purple ones, there's 2 ones. And that's because we're going to combine those. And I'm going to show you that paragraph right here. It's just combined with an and. Okay, so lunch is served every day at school and, according to First Lady Obama, should be delicious and nutritious. So if we go back here, that's the 2 number ones. So lunch is served every day at school and, according to First Lady Obama, should be delicious and nutritious. So a little bit of editing, right? A little bit got taken out of the direct quotation in terms of the extra words in the sentence, and a little bit more condensed of her words, but it's the same information. Then we'll go into one lunch favorite. Pizza is always served warm, while PB&Js, another kid favorite, are cold. Oh, no, that was a blooper. Let's try that again. Lunch is served every day at school and, as First Lady Obama says, should be delicious and nutritious. On Monday, the lunch options were vegetable pizza or PB&J. One lunch favorite, pizza, is always served warm, while PB&Js, another kid favorite, are cold. Perfect. There we go. We've got it here in our paragraph in that same order. And notice we've got each of the writing features indicated on the left side. So this is a fabulous way for students, once they've written a paragraph, to go back and say, here's where I put the fact, the DQ, the example, and the comparison. This is also wonderful to do if they are reading text, even a paragraph from a textbook or from an article, and you have them identify, where do they hear facts? Where do they hear examples? Where's there a comparison sentence? And have them annotate out to the side these different types of sentences or different types of writing features. It will absolutely help them become better writers. Here is the volcano one. And so you'll see there are, in this case, 3 different orders that we try out and test. And you can read through all of these, have students try them out, pull in different transitional words like interestingly or in addition. We've already got a couple transitions of, for example, and then when a volcano is described as active, that actually is a transition. And then on the other hand is another one. So we've got a lot of transitions already in here, but sometimes we need a little work on to get the flow just right. So let me take these off and just go with the orange for a minute so we can see those. Volcanoes can be active, dormant, or extinct. When a volcano is described as active, it means it is erupting hot magma, ash, and gas. On the other hand, a dormant volcano has erupted recently, but is currently quiet. For example, the Etna volcano in Italy has been active for thousands of years. Volcanologist Lily Isaac stated the largest volcano we know of is actually on Mars and is dormant. All right, I kind of like that flow. Here's another one. Volcanoes can be active, dormant, or extinct. Volcanologist Lily Isaac stated the largest volcano we know of is actually on Mars, and it is dormant. For example, the Etna volcano in Italy has been active for thousands of years. When a volcano is described as active, it means it is erupting hot magma, ash, and gas. On the other hand, a dormant volcano has erupted recently, but is currently quiet. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty good too. I don't like that it goes from dormant to the for example, and then it's an active one. So that feels a little bit not quite right. I think I prefer the orange over the purple, but this is a great discussion to have with students. Why does that flow better? I like the orange right now because it previews the 3, the active, dormant, and extinct, and then it goes into the comparison of a couple of them. And then we've got another one that goes from our quotation about largest one on Mars to the example. And I see, I don't like that because of the dormant to the active. So I think the orange would sound the best out of all of these choices, just not even going all the way through the green ones. But this is the goal, that students are brave enough. They try out different orders. It's not that there's a right or wrong, but it's just which one sounds better to our ears, which one is the clearest in terms of presenting the information. And that's what you see here again with the 4 writing features out to the side, where we are indicating what feature is listed there or included in the paragraph. So in this case, we're going to write out loud the sentences about shoes. You want to listen for the paragraph. That's what we did with the write out loud. You want to just try different orders, number your sentences and try them out in different orders about shoes and which one makes the most logical sense for a paragraph. Okay, try out several different combinations. That's really the goal here, is it's not kind of a one and done. We don't want to be quickly done with the part of it where we're numbering and trying out. We really want students to read them over and over, try out different ways, and experiment with what makes logical sense. It's really going to help them not only become better writers and more organized writers, but also stronger readers. So there's a beautiful double benefit here of this activity. You see, we're going to number the sentences to build the strongest paragraph, make enhancements to it, make sure it flows beautifully, change out some wording if you need to, and then we're going to share out the shoes writing. Or remember, you could change this out to anything that is tied to your content. So with this activity, we are taking a look at those 4 impressive writing features that lead to a very impressive paragraph. So we're going to just come out of this really quickly and go back up to them just so we can have those as our Just as our ending preview here of these four of facts, examples, direct quotations, and comparisons. Yes, there are many more writing features. These are some of the first ones that we love to teach students, and they can absolutely be combined together to create impressive paragraphs. So happy writing!